Hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Pathways to Autism Care Podcast. We're so glad you're joining us.
Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that we know is on the minds of many parents: safety awareness and specifically the challenge of elopement or wandering.
Yeah, it's a conversation that can feel heavy, but our goal today is to approach it with calmness, compassion, and absolutely no judgment.
Exactly. If you've ever felt that jolt of panic when you turn around and your child isn't where you thought they were, please know you are not alone. This is a very common experience in the autism community, and we're here to talk through it together.
That's right. So let's start with the why. Understanding the reasons behind wandering is the first step to creating effective supports. It's almost never about defiance. It's a form of communication or a response to a need.
A response to a need, yes. Let's break that down. On one hand, a child might be seeking a sensory experience, truly vivid things like the feeling of wind on their face, the sound of a neighbor's fountain, or the visual stimulation of passing cars. On the flip side, they could be trying to escape something overwhelming in their environment: the hum of fluorescent lights, the scratchy feeling of a tag on their shirt, or the chaotic noise of a crowded room.
And sometimes it's what we'd call goal-oriented. It's not just a random departure. They have a destination in mind, a favorite park, a grandparent's house, or the toy store they saw yesterday. They aren't trying to leave you. They're trying to get to something that brings them joy. And sometimes it's even more specific, what we might call goal-oriented wandering. They aren't just leaving, they're going to something specific. It could be a favorite park that's a few blocks away, a grandparent's house, or even a store they associate with a favorite treat. Their focus on that goal is so intense that it overrides any concept of the steps or the dangers between here and there.
And sometimes it's not even about going to something, but about getting away from an internal state. A child who is feeling anxious or emotionally dysregulated might bolt as a pure fight or flight stress reaction. This isn't a curious wander, it's an impulsive burst of movement to escape a feeling they can't otherwise manage.
Mm-hmm. Impulsivity also plays a big role. They see something they want, and their brain's path from want to go is incredibly direct, often without that pause to consider potential consequences.
That's a great point. We also need to consider their internal state. Sometimes the trigger isn't external at all. It can be rising anxiety or emotional dysregulation. When the internal world gets too loud and confusing, leaving the physical space can feel like the only way to cope. This is often when we see bolting, that sudden reflexive sprint. It's less of a curious wander and more of a fight or flight response.
And that lack of a pause leads us gently into the topic of common safety risks. We don't want to be alarmist, but being aware helps us to be prepared. We think about things like traffic, bodies of water, or simply the risk of getting lost. And in community settings, there are other considerations like navigating public transportation or the unstructured nature of a family gathering in a busy park.
Right, and it's important to think about those risks gently, without alarm, inside the home as well. We can have specific zones that require more mindful supervision. The kitchen, for example, with access to stoves or knives, or the bathroom with water and medications. And in the community, the risks change. We think about public transportation, busy parks, or even the wonderful but unstructured chaos of a family gathering. Each new environment presents a new set of variables. This brings us to a key point: a lack of danger awareness. For many autistic individuals, the concept of danger is abstract. They may not naturally connect the dots between running into a street and the potential for getting hurt. Another layer here is the cognitive challenge of generalization. This is a big one. An autistic child might learn a safety rule in one very specific context, like we don't touch the stove in our kitchen, but they don't automatically generalize that rule to all stoves. So when they visit a grandparent's house, the rule "don't touch the stove" might not exist in their mind because it's a different stove in a different place. It's not defiance. Their brain categorizes the experiences differently. You have to explicitly teach the rule in various settings for the concept to become universal.
Exactly. It's a difference in processing, not a lack of listening. And that's why we talk about the need for intentional supervision. It's not about hovering, it's about mindfully creating a safe environment because you understand your child's unique perspective.
So, let's shift into some proactive strategies. These are tools to support your child, not punish them. Things like visual cues can be incredibly powerful.
hmm A simple red stop sign on a door can be a much clearer signal than words alone. You can also think about your environment, adding simple alarms that chime when a door opens, or placing locks high out of reach.
I like to think of them as layers of safety. No single strategy is foolproof, but when you add a few together, you create a much more secure space. Predictable routines also help as they can reduce the impulse to leave unexpectedly.
And as we talk about all these strategies, we need to pause and talk directly to you, the caregiver. Please hear us when we say this. Perfection is not the goal, or even possible. Oh, absolutely. You will have good days and you will have setbacks. A plan might not work or a lock might get figured out. That is not a failure. It is simply part of the process. You are learning and adapting right alongside your child.
Right, and the emotional fatigue is real. It is okay to feel tired. It is more than okay to ask for help from your partner, your family, your therapy team. You don't have to carry this all by yourself.
So, as we wrap up, let's bring it back to a place of calm action. We don't want you to leave feeling overwhelmed, but empowered.
Exactly. So, what is one small, doable thing you can do this week? Maybe it's identifying the most high-risk time of day and making a specific plan just for that 30-minute window.
Or maybe it's ordering that door chime online or printing out a stop sign for the back door. One small step. That's all it takes to begin building a safer path forward.
You are doing an incredible job. Remember to be as compassionate with yourself as you are with your child. Thank you for sharing this time with us.
Take care, and we'll talk to you again soon on the Pathways to Autism Care podcast.